Cultural tourism. This is lecture 5A. We are looking at what is cultural tourism. This is what we are doing. You are culture tour guides. This is unlike the other guides. And let us look at, so your area is cultural tourism. But what is cultural tourism? What does it mean to be a culture tour guide? Let's go for it. So in this class, we are going to look at what is culture, what is cultural tourism, what's the difference between cultural tourism and conventional tourism, the one that is already been happening for a long time, and what are the benefits of cultural tourism? First, we define what is culture. Culture is a way of life of a group of people. And what is a way of life? That means the behavior, the thoughts, the beliefs, the values, the symbols, the language that they accept, that they use. Like, for example, the Taita, they have their beliefs, they have their thoughts, they have their ways of how they live their life, they have their foods also. So this definition is not complete. It's just giving you that is a way of life. And, way of life is a lot of things, religious, circumcision, how they operate day by day, how they think, their worldview. So there's so many ways about culture that I've hardly even touched, but this is a simple one so that you can understand and you see every person. And it's not only about dance. We've put a lot of pictures on dance, but it's not only about dance or traditional festival or performances. It's a way of life of the people. So nothing defines a country, a county, a hamlet, a village, and makes it unique like its culture. Seeing its art, experiencing its traditions, trying its cuisine, that's food, or if you want to call it culinary arts, and strolling through its history are without doubt the best guides to discovering a county, or a country, or a village, or a hamlet, or a region. And that precisely is what cultural tourism is about. The aspect you're seeing their architecture, you are seeing what they really been through, you are seeing what they actually value. And Kaita has got very many magical sites and which tell about their life. I think one of the most interesting thing is the Cave of Skulls. Our ancestors used to bury, then they'll actually exhume the body and take the skull and put it in a cave. I think that makes us very unique. Okay, we might say it is witchcraft now, but who said just putting a skull in a cave is witchcraft? It is your way of thinking, or if you start actually worshipping. But now we have to look at them as artifacts. We look at them, we're not going there to worship. We're not going there to do any of the rituals. We want to know our history and we want to actually be able to tell it from our own sites. So what's the difference between cultural tourism and traditional tourism? Traditional tourism was where there was sun, sand, scene, and beach tourism or safari, where they go for a whole day safari looking at animals. At the beach, they're just tanning their skin and lying there like a lizard or an agama or something. These were the main attraction. And rest was basically what they're looking for, and relaxation. They didn't want anything to do with the people. If anything, the people were objectified. If anything, the culture was not important to them. But cultural tourism basically is kind of, I don't want to say opposite, but it has one objective: understanding in the broadest sense of the word. It's about understanding the people, their ways of life, their foods, and what they do. Getting to know the history, art, and people of a place, tasting its food, discovering its customs, and enjoying at first hand a different way of seeing the world is what cultural tourism is all about. And that you have to package. They're not just coming to just experience that unless you package them so that you can actually present it to them in a manner that makes the experience memorable. So, cultural tourism is a type of tourism in which the visitor's essential motivation is to learn, discover, experience, and consume the cultural attractions and products offered by a tourist destination. Now, if they have to consume, if you have to prepare so that they consume, it has to be well prepared. I mean, if you eat pilau from the coast, prepared by somebody from right down the coast, you'll find that that preparation of that pilau, it'll be different from pilau njeri up country. And I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just trying to tell you, if you want to make something palatable, you have to work hard on it. And that's why we are training as culture tour guides to be able to package our products such that a visitor would want to come back again, such that a visitor can want to hear more, such that a visitor can say, wow, this is something, rather than just, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. This is not what we are all about. We are about packaging that experience so that they actually would find that it's memorable. And if you want to be a good culture tour guide, the best is to make sure you have somebody have such a nice, memorable experience that they want to come back and again and again. You have to sell yourself first. Your communication skills have got to be good. Then knowledgeable, the product. Cultural tourism, these attractions and products relate to the intellectual, spiritual, and emotional features of a society. And a repetition, but for you to remember, they encompass the following, or they involve or they consist of the following: arts and architecture. How do you build? Our round huts, how did we build them? How did we build our storage, where you have in a round hut, you have a ceiling where you put your food and it can store for days. Or your maize is there, you store it, and it doesn't actually rot or have any toxin. It is actually dried by the smoke. That's architecture right there. We need to get to understand how our round huts built. How come we didn't have fridges and we had food that would keep for a while? We also look at the historical and cultural heritage, like Mwazindika dance, which is going to the UNESCO. We've already taken that file. If you don't know, now you know. Please check the internet and see that. Culinary heritage, that's the food. We had a lot, we still have kibunde, kimanga, makango, kiberere, ugali, you name it, manga ocha, manga odeka, manga opura, makaji, marugu. I mean, hey, the foods we eat now are just way out of the foods that we ate. Very healthy, very tasty as well. If you eat kibunde, you won't want to eat any other food, and wrapped in banana leaves. The literature, the music, creative industries as well. We made Luko, we made Mkeka, we made Kitandacha Kamba, we made Mbuzi ya kukuna nazi, we made Luficho, we made Ndana. The thing that even put Mavanu, whatever it is called, I remember it, I'll remember it. But you know what I'm talking about. Those are the creative industries, as well as the living cultures with their lifestyles, value system, beliefs, and tradition. Living cultures is how do you live every day? What do you eat? How do you eat? What time do you eat? And how do you go about even your medicine? How do you treat yourselves? All those are living cultures. It's called intangible cultural heritage. It also includes what? Tourism in urban areas, particularly historic or large cities, and their cultural facilities, such as theaters. We've closed all our theaters in Taita. We don't have any theater, as well as tourism in remote indigenous regions. We need to start places where we can have Mwazindika festivals, where we can have people come and actually have their traditions, or they have their culture displayed, like Kuchukanya I see that coming up. I think I like that. Taita Nights, but which are done in Mombasa and Nairobi. I don't know. I'm not sure. But we need to have more of them within the village or within Taita, so that we can arouse our curiosity and make sure the young actually know their traditions, and they can actually cherish them. They can actually boast about them. They can be able even to know their language. Taita language is getting lost. Taveta language, I guess, is almost lost. Sagala, I don't know. Kekasigalu those need to actually be preserved. How do you preserve them? You have to teach the young. How do we teach them? We have to have a mechanism. It doesn't happen automatically. Now the students go or the kids go to school, and the one thing that school does is erode completely their culture rather than even first embrace their culture, then teach them from what they already know from their culture because it's what they see. I remember when we used to go to school, we'll talk about London Bridge is broken down. Where is London Bridge? And I know Makibengele village or Makibengele Bridge is right across. We'd never sing about it. We need to change the ways we are teaching so that we can be more in touch with the environment and we can affect the environment more if we really know it, if we can understand it. What's wrong with the herbal medicine? I remember there were days, or those days, we never used to go to hospital. If you have a cough, there is some leaves you chew. There is also mkongo you can chew. There was the mruhundi that you take with the tea. Very powerful in terms of taking care of allergy or even just flu. There was tove if you have a wound. There was, you talk about sickness of the stomach. Was msoko. Hey, these things are important. We need to get them back. So, benefits of cultural tourism, intangible ones like the conservation of cultural and artistic heritage. You see the Maasai, they have preserved it, and people are coming now to actually be students to them. They learn. It's very interesting to learn from people who have preserved their culture. We cannot actually totally take the Western ways. We can embrace some of them, but really it is sad that we even forget our languages, we even forget our foods, we even look down upon somebody who does not actually know English rather than we think that they are not educated or they are intelligent. They are not intelligent or they are dumb. But that's a really poor mentality. These people, in fact, if there's anything about cows, maybe we should go to the Maasai and ask them how do they know about cows and what do they, because these guys have stayed with cows and animals since eons. Okay, we might want grade cows, fine, but what about those who are in the ranches where you actually have scarce resources or there is scarce grass? We need to learn from these people. Okay, so local prosperity for non-traditional tourist destination and establishment of links between different cultures. You move from Voi up to Makina, they are Manyatas. Those people are making money from cultural tourism. What are the benefits? They're tangible ones as well, like the impact on the economy. The money spent by cultural travelers has a very positive repercussion, both at financial level in the creation of jobs in sectors such as the hotel and catering industry, trade and culture. If we can get more tourists, if we can get more visitors coming to Taita and get into the village, like if they could go all the way to Kirombo Eco Camp, if they could go all the way to Beula, if they can go right deep up to Bongonyi, Mwambirwa, you know how much money we'll be actually getting? Even if they're giving, each of them comes with $50 to spend, and we're having 100, even in a month, that's short $5,000. You do the mathematics, all right? We need to think more about this, and I guess that tourism industry in county, Taita Taveta County needs to actually get more brains and backs into this rather than uh, backs and brawn, because there's a lot of money here for people to get and actually tangible. So this form of tourism is becoming generally more popular throughout the world. A recent report has highlighted the role that cultural tourism can play in regional development in different world regions. Cultural tourism has recently shifted towards meeting the growing desire for cultural experiences in particular. People want to learn more about other cultures. People want to actually experience life. People want to actually embed themselves in a village and become part of it so that they can go with those memories rather than sand, scene, safari, and just relaxing. Cultural tourism has recently shifted towards meeting the growing desire cultural experiences. All right. Sectors of cultural tourism can be distinguished both by destination. Is it urban, rural, That is a difference, as well as the theme of the trip. Is it heritage tourism? Like, what is our cultural heritage? Popular culture tourism, maybe music. Culinary tourism, where they look at the foods. Or fashion and design, they look at your dressing. They have so many aspects, or there's so many aspects that we can explore, and we need to look at this more. Taita Taveta has a huge untapped tourism potential, and that's why we are actually starting this culture tour guide course, so that for you, you are the pioneers, but pioneers a bit of a difficulty, but you'll go down in history if you can lay the foundation, if you can be able to map all these areas, if you can be able to have product knowledge, then it will help others when they come. It will be easier for them. The county has magical sites that local and international tourists should enjoy visiting. What are these sites? Tsavo National Park is one of them. Wildlife sanctuaries like Iko Kevuko Camp. We have Lumo. We have Mbulia Conservancy. There are lodges, Vuria Hills, where it's good for hiking, the tallest or the highest point in Coast Province. We also have the National Museum of Kenya that has gazetted 14 sites as its historical interest and significance. Which are these? Can you work on them? But they include some of this: Salaita Hill, Voi Commonwealth War Graves, and all other graves like Maktau Indian Cemetery, is Taveta War Cemetery, Kenyatta Caves in Vundani, the first District Commissioner's House in Taveta, which is also the old police station. There is also the Taveta ACK Holy Trinity Church. There is Maho Pastor's Residence, Chala, where the German Schutztruppe had their camp. All those are areas of historical significance. There's also the printing press that is at Maho. That was where the newspaper was first printed. I think 1899 or 1901. So there's need for Taita Taveta to tell its stories in a powerful and captivating way to attract both local and international tourists, and that's what we are doing with you guys. And as we continue culture tour guides, we hope we'll put this the product knowledge, the sites in text, in pictures, in graphics, video, in motion pictures, and other related formats so that we can preserve it. We can also look at legends and talk about the Mangeka, Voresha, Mengo, Mashengo Machofi. Do we know them? First Mayor of Voi, Joan Mjomba. Do we know who actually was the first person in Taita to climb Mount Kilimanjaro? Who was, all these people, we need to know them. Taita Hills and Mwatate, these are the touristic sites. Look at them. Figia Mlaleni, Mwafunja, Njama Mzango, Vigombonyi Shrine, Chavia Forest, Eastern Arc Mountains, where we have the Apalis Bird at Tangangao Forest, Mochora Cliffs, Iyale, Chomoto, Vesu, Cheginya Rock. These are places I want you to start researching. Kwa Wafiti, there was a smelting kiln there. Luala Luambula, where is this? Huh? We need to actually start understanding. Funju Hills, where is this? Kwamka Mwalasha, Iribonyi Shrine. Now, that is Taita Hills and Mwatate. Kasigao site, Jora Fort, Goi Rock, Kwaanose, Kirombo Cultural Center, the gemstone mining sites, translocation to Malindi during W1, British German encounter area. We have Ray Museum, Talio Hill Shrine. All these, record them. Start researching. Voi Mbololo site, I've put these sites in terms of areas so that you don't have to learn all. If you come from Voi, Mbololo, try to get this. Mbangaya Majalia, Figia Ore, Figia Ndi, Maramunyi Ini Hill, Ramunyi, Abyssinia History, Namini Trail, where Kirombo Eco Camp is, Mbololo Forest, Kinyangenyi Market, Mlamba wa Mzozo, Malupe, Maramunyi Mwakajo, already there, which is Abyssinia history. Voi Railway Station, Tsavo Railway Line Bridge, Maniita Lion Place, Mdanda Kariakoo, Kariakops, all these are lying within Voi Mbololo site. So if you come from this, can we start getting to know these arts like the back of your mind? You're not going to have a piece of paper reading when you have your visitor. You need to know them. That's what a good tour guide does. Then Mactau Taveta site, Mtiwachila, Lake Chala, Mactau railway line, Mactau airstrip, Snipers, Baobab, Grogan Castle, Salaita, Njoro, Springs, Mactau, graves, I've talked about that, Mwashoti, Fort, Taveta, there are graves there, SK graves 1904, all these first printing press in East Africa, all these we need to actually start researching as culture tour guides. Remember, us is more about making people learn, understand, enjoy the experience. They come to homestays, maybe we might have to stay with them, telling them even stories at night. We have to be good storytellers. These sites are nothing. If you go to them right now, they might be empty, vast lands, but you need to bring them alive. Salaita Hill, you have to tell the story such that they can see the war happening. Whatever you use, even if you want to use graph or pictures, that's what you need to be thinking beyond. That's what you need to be practicing. There is no way you can be a good culture tour guide if you cannot tell interesting stories. 1914, August 6th or 8th or 15th, the first shot was fired from that window at the old or police post, and it's from there that World War One East African campaign started. It's different telling a story that way rather than saying the First World War started here 1914, August 15th. The first shot was fired on that day. First person to die was so and so. From the German side, first, no, you want to tell it as a story. You want to captivate your audience. So there's a lot of work to be done, guys. Culture tour guides. That's about cultural tourism. Unlike conventional, which was sand, scene, or safari, where they just come detached from the people. Cultural tourism, they immerse themselves in the people and they'll want culture tour guide, somebody who knows about the culture, somebody who knows about the people, somebody who can communicate effectively and package that history and present it in an interesting manner that the visitor finds it memorable. And if you can do it, then they can reference you. The best reference is not even a reference letter. It's not even somebody writing on a piece of paper. It is word of mouth. When you go there, look for Mjomba Majalia. That guy is a good culture tour guide. We really enjoyed ourselves. When you go there, look for Gibson Mobile. When you go there, look for Glorian. When you go there, look for this person in Kirombo Eco Camp called Newton or Nelson or Makimanga or Makibengele or Mekira. That's what you want. Okay, bye for now.